What's up, Theo? How's it going, man? Yeah, shit looks kind of chopped this morning. I am not exactly sure what I'm gonna do yet. We quite literally have no, absolutely no higher time frame gaps. Yeah, be careful, bro. If you don't want to trade today, honestly, I think that's super fair. I'm gonna try and lock in and see if I can find something. You'll see my account balance. That is my Apex funded. I am. Yo, my cat's bugging. What the fuck, dude? Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing about these daily gaps, right? This one isn't even formed yet, so it's non-existent in our eyes, right? And we haven't tapped the one above. So technically speaking, the only gap that's there is this one, which we did kind of fill, right? So I don't know. I'm not really taking the daily into play at this point. Um, Biggest thing I'm looking at here, since we have no higher time frame gaps, is the fact that we have London lows down here, 15-minute intermediate low right here, and then equal highs. These equal highs I'm very interested in. Yeah, I'm just not really super worried about it. And we haven't even tapped into the other one, which honestly makes me a bit more bullish that we might go towards it. However, because we have no higher time frame gaps to work on until 10, if this one decides to open, the only thing that we can really look at here is going to be 15-minute gaps. Um, so we do have two, right? We have this 15-minute intermediate low, which is a good target, and we respected this 15-minute gap currently. So if we continue to respect this 15-minute gap, we can look for sales possibly. I'm going to keep an eye on how open looks. We could come up and resweep this 15-minute intermediate high. Or at open, what we could also do is just kind of like sweep out some of this low resistance liquidity kind of immediately and then start moving towards this 15-minute intermediate low. We're playing in between two gaps. Right now, we're currently respecting the one that's leading me to be more bearish until we sweep out this 15-minute intermediate low. That's kind of the way I'm approaching it today. I'm just typing all this out now before market open. Yeah, I know. Market has kind of been ass this week. You said yesterday that you saw quite a few people take that same trade that we took it open. Yeah, I figured. I mean, it looked clean. Okay, so these are the game plan. This is the full game plan I have written out. If I don't see any of this happen, I will not trade. I am going to be a bit more hesitant too because we do have Walsh speaking at 10. Essentially by the time 10 o'clock rolls around, I'm done. I will not take any more trades. So, sorry. By open, here's the three scenarios that I'll be looking at. First one is we just like come up and maybe like sweep a little bit of internal liquidity. Did I take it? I don't know if Patty took it. I don't know what Patty and Blake took yesterday. So what I am looking for here is for us to respect either this 15-minute bearish gap, which we're now coming into a 5-minute. Okay, at open, we could disrespect this 5-minute and have something. Honestly, what I would really like to see is us sweep this 15-minute intermediate low right here. Respect the 15-minute gap after sweeping that low and come back up to sweep this high. If we disrespect this after we resweep this 15-minute intermediate low, I will look for a short either on the 5-minute or the 3-minute possibly towards London lows. If we respect it, I will look to buy. I won't look to do anything through here. I need this to get swept for this to be a valid gap for me. Yeah, if we get anywhere close to 10 o'clock, I'm just going to get off for the day. It's just not worth it. I don't know how news is going to end up playing out. So we'll see. If we don't get a trade today, it's Friday. It's fine. We still have the fresh Lucid. So I'm not really tripping about it. I'm gonna let my cat out real quick. All right. What's up? What's up? Appreciate you boys being here today. We'll see if we actually end up taking anything. It might be a pretty light day. Got about 3 minutes until open. We will see. Yeah. Again, I am not really interested in just taking something off the bounce of this. For this to be a valid gap for me, we need to sweep this 15-minute intermediate low. We are about to inverse this 5-minute too, which if that happens at open, I think we're going to just sweep it. So I wouldn't be surprised if at open we just sweep through this and either have a very dramatic pullback. So like something like this, where it like comes and sweeps and then maybe does like a resweep of some sort, and then we get an inversion, respecting this gap higher. Market's going crazy style right now though. My biggest thing is to watch this if this 5-minute gets inversed. If we respect it, there is a chance we don't need to come resweep this, and this is actually high resistance. And if this gets respected, there is a possibility that we just bounce here and continue to go for these highs. It is a little bit more difficult, and to be completely honest, a little bit lower probability because we have absolutely no higher time frame gaps to even look at. Like that 1 minute just got filled through. So there's not a whole lot for us to base our trades on, which again kind of makes it a little iffy to take anything. That's why I think I'm personally leaning more towards like possibly just honestly standing on the sidelines today. We'll see. If something looks super clean, I'll take it, but it'll be interesting if this 5 minute gets respected because we might end up getting like some sort of resweep or something, or a really nice inversion after tapping into both of these back towards this 15-minute intermediate high. We'll have to see. You're talking about this LRL? Yeah, I mean that's where I'm kind of at too. I'm very, very neutral. There's like not a whole lot we can do. Okay. Sweeping, that's what I wanted to see. Very solid opening for us. If we get this 15-second, it could be a good long. Gonna be patient though. No, we didn't get it. Could get the resweep. Bro, for real. Okay, got the resweep. Are we just going for a straight London sweep? If we sweep London now we're looking at actual like a higher time frame gap that we can use for longs. And that becomes much more higher probability. Becomes actually significantly better if we respect it and we want to go long. If we want to keep trading through, that's a different story. Because right now we are just dumping. If we get this 30-second, it would be high enough up and it would be a very, very good long. Because we tapped this 30-minute, we swept through the 30-minute intermediate low. We swept all the LRL that was below as well. Now we're in a very, very good position along. Market is just moving choppy as fuck though. Or we can go for previous day lows. Guess that's also an option. I don't love it as much, but I'm also not going to try and fight price to long if it wants to short. We tap this 15-minute. We just started kind of moving down. there a 2 minute here? Okay, we have a very solid 2 minute that I'm looking at. The 2 minute would be the highest time frame inversion in this leg. Kind of hate how big this fucking stop loss is gonna have to be. Unless we get another inversion off this pullback. No. Nope, still looking at the now 3 minute. So now I'm looking at this 3 minute inversion. Because this now just became the highest time frame inversion in the leg. So I think it's clean if it happens. I low-key might still enter off this 2 minute. No, I'll be safe. I'll be safe. It might just run up higher without me. I think I could probably get away with a stop loss here, though. We'll see. Depending on where this 3 minute ends up closing, I might either have to go here or here. I know Patty likes to use the full leg, but the RR just doesn't make sense. And if we close and go beneath this candle, then I have a much higher likelihood of this trade losing. Unless we get a 30-second here from this pullback. No, it doesn't want to open up. Yeah. Honestly, I think this is a pretty safe stop loss. Yeah, below this order block. Yeah, I'm okay with this. I'm comfortable with this stop loss. All right, I'm in. If I got filled,
Order filled.
I have no idea where I just got filled on that. Okay. That fill was tough, dude. Okay. We'll break even at this 15-minute intermediate high. I'm not getting in another order. I'm just trying to see how much I risked here. So 117. 510. Okay. Cool. Break even's this 15-minute intermediate high. Yeah, I know. That took me forever to fill me, dude. I'm hoping we just get a sweep through this. I have to break even here. I wanted to TP here, but we got to work with the fill. That took so long. That was insane. Hopefully we sweep through it. We might come back down, but order's protected either way, so I'm not super worried about it. Come on. Push up just a little more. Fill me.
Order filled.
Thank fuck.
Order filled. Order filled.
Bet. That's a banger, boys. All right, so to recap quickly, I haven't read your guys' chat. I'm sorry. I got in on the 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute was an interesting choice. So, reason I took the 3 minute was because we'll use it. Oh, let me turn this bullshit off. So this was the leg, right? This was the full leg right here. There was no like small bullish candles within this leg through the 1 minute, the 2 minute, and the 3 minute. It was all within the same down move, right? So the highest time frame in that was that 3 minute. So I had in my rules, I had to wait for it. Proud of you for the TP, but big dog. Looking at how this trade ended up closing, I assume we just got a lot of volume towards the last couple of seconds of this candle. My fill was actually better than where the candle closed. So not too bad. Stop loss, I was very comfortable just putting it at the low of the closed candle because of how much displacement we got through the 3 minute gap, as well as the fact that if we were to come all the way back down and sweep below this candle, the likelihood of us also sweeping this low was very high. So that's where the stop loss is just, it's okay. Break even at the 15-minute intermediate high. I was a bit scared we'd get a pullback through it. I'm glad we just moved through it. I think we can come take these equal highs if ES did not already take it. ES did already take it. So either way, it would have been fully closed out. This might still sweep, but either way, banger trades today, boys. Yeah, just be careful taking lower time frame inversions unless it's a situation. So like one thing that I was eyeing up, right, is if we got one of these moves up, sometimes what can happen is in like a move up like this, we get a new leg generated down on the 15-second or the 30-second. And then you can take like some sort of inversion within like this 1 minute candle that can look really clean and get you a much, much better RR. And I do take that because technically it's a new leg. That's just me though. Not everyone trades like that. This was probably the best trade we could have found today. I really, really like the fact that we got a higher time frame level because at first we were just kind of having a trade between these 15 minutes and it just not as high probability. Once we tapped and reswept this 30-minute intermediate low and started respecting, that made the trade A plus. So glad we caught that today. I will show you guys the P&L card real quick. Like I said, I did take this on my Apex PA account. However, I am copy trading it to a new Lucid eval. So let me go ahead and share this real quick. So for you boys, this is what we're looking at. We got 1560 on the Lucid eval. I was doing the 1,000. I risked 1,500. I was doing 1,000 risk initially. What I decided to do, instead of just risking 1,000 across all my accounts, because it did make me lose one of my PAs. I decided I was just gonna trade 500 on my main PA account, do like proper 1% risk on it, and then from there, what I'll do is just do a 3x on the Lucid, because for this one, instead of doing the $1,200 max loss like I did before, I just paid the extra to have no daily loss limit. It was like an extra $15. So I paid that, and I'll do a pass in 2 instead of a pass in 3. For me, that's what I've typically done in the past. I was doing a pass in 3 because I wanted to trade 2% across all my PA accounts. Bit me in the ass, so learned from that mistake and lowered risk back to 1% on the PA account I still have with Apex, and I'm just going to do a pass in 2 for this Lucid account, and then once it passes, hopefully Monday, we'll see how the price plays out, but once it passes, I'll just drop it all to 500, and then we'll go from there. But either way, it's a good day today. Not too shabby. Yeah, so we reswept this on. We have a fat SMT here. So I think we're probably just going to pull down at this point. Yeah, it was a good day. I'm happy that we got a plus setup, because we have been getting fucked by the markets lately. So I'm very happy with how this played out, man. Yeah, W's, boys. Fucking banging it today. Gibby, did you end up catching it? And we got exactly what we wanted to, right? Like we got the trade, like, what was that? 10 minutes into open, so well before the 10 o'clock when Walsh speaks. So very happy with that. Yeah, I mean, like when I do my pre-market analysis, I'll show you guys this real quick. This is what it looks like. Hold up. There it is. That's how I want it. I write these statements down. So like if we respect the 15-minute fair value gap, I'll look to short up to the 15-minute intermediate low. If we sweep the 15-minute intermediate low at open and respect the gap, then I will look to long towards the 15-minute intermediate high. If we disrespect the bearish 15-minute fair value gap, then we will look to short to London lows. That was my ideas. That way I know exactly what I'm looking for when I go into the trading session. Yeah, exactly. So like on my other monitor, the same one where I have my like where I have you guys in the chat, as well as my like Tradeovate open for my 30-second and 15-second and 2-minute charts, I also have this open so I can look at it. The thing that these statements really do that I see a lot of traders miss is a lot of people will come and sit down at their computers, right? 15 minutes before, whatever, they'll do their pre-market analysis, and then they'll just sit there and they'll wait and they'll react, right, to like whatever the market does. Like they have ideas in their head that they've marked out on their charts, but in reality, what they're doing is just like waiting and being reactive to what they see. That leaves so much room for emotions to come into play, right? And then when you have your emotions start coming into play, now all of a sudden everything that you marked out pre-market goes out the window. So what these statements do is by writing the if thens, if this happens, then I do this. I have a game plan, not only in my mind and what I marked out on the charts, but literally written in front of me. If we see this, I will then do this. Now, here's the caveat, right? So I have this last one here. If we disrespect the bearish 15-minute fair value gap, I will look to short to London lows. And if we respect it, I will look to long. So obviously what happened, right? We swept through, but we ended up sweeping through London lows and tapping a higher time frame gap. So this situation now becomes the exact same situation that I was marking out for this 15-minute, because we also still respected that. But now we have a new gap, higher time frame, so therefore higher quality. Like I've said before, the 30-minute and above is what I consider higher time frame. I do not consider 15-minute higher time frame. So now we have a 30-minute gap coming into play with the exact same idea. And now we can look to play off the, if we respect X, then I will look to long towards the 15-minute intermediate high. And that's exactly what we ended up getting. So that's kind of the way that I come into the day and like prep. It's why I really stand by coming in 15 minutes early. It takes me 15 minutes to like sit down, get everything set up, look at the markets, mark everything out, and then also write down my statements, write down like what economic events are happening, and just get my journal together. Because in that session log section that I was just showing you, I'll also write down if I'm like feeling emotions. Today, it wasn't very emotional. It was a very just like mechanical day for me. I wasn't really feeling too much. Um, so it was just kind of straightforward, but all in all, that's the way I look at the market. Do you guys have any like questions about the way I do that? Um, yeah, it is. I do try to keep it organized. Uh, thank you, bro. Yeah, that's the goal with this like whole series, man. There's so many. My idea for it came by like honestly consuming way too much content of people passing evals, and like um so many influencers, especially in the trading space, um talking about how they will look for ROI, right? Which is valid. I think it's extremely valid to look specifically for ROI. However, a lot of these guys have been trading for multiple years at this point profitably, and they're spending like, 20K to make 40K, which, end of day, that's still 20 grand. That's lit. A lot of new traders coming into this space have 500-600 bucks maybe, right? Like there's so many younger guys coming in now who are like 18. Theo, I know you're one of them, like younger guys who are just like, working fucking not fantastic jobs and don't have a ton of money to just be blowing, but they still want to like make it. And a lot of these guys started posting their journeys after they've already made it. I'm still in the beginning stage of becoming a full-time trader. So I was in a really unique position to be able to live stream what it looks like to go from just a singular Lucid account to having like max Lucid allocation. And because I've done enough of these challenges, I have gotten payouts at this point. I know the realistic numbers. Like I know it's on average gonna take a $400 spend for me to get one Lucid eval passed. Then once that is passed, I have an 80% payout rate on my funded accounts. Um, when I actually risk 1%. So if that's the case, realistically, I should be able to get a full payout of all 5 accounts without spending more than $2,000 realistically. And if I get a full payout, it's going to be somewhere between 6 and 10 grand. So that's still a fantastic ROI and gives a lot of bankroll. Yeah, it's still a fantastic like payday for a lot of people. It's still be great for me. It's more than I make from my job, bro. Um, yeah, so like the ROI discussion is still there, but it's in just more realistic terms. And it also shows people what it looks like to actually scale. I feel like so many guys will just like fucking spend $1,000 to get max allocation on and take like copy trade 5 evals all at once. And that's not how most of these guys got there. Like some of them for sure, but like most of them started with one and slowly built up. And everyone tells you to do that, but no one's actually shown it. And that's my goal with this, is to just show that whole process. So that way it's realistic. I think there's a big difference between people saying something and um people doing something and like showing that process and showing what it actually looks like, because I assume it's going to take a minute. I don't think we're going to have max allocation by the end of this month, right? Or the end of September, I mean. But I think it's going to be very likely that we have 3 accounts and we can get a payout from that. And yeah, like the thing is, I think it's going to be a $2,000 spend total to get max allocation, between 2,000 and 2,400 to get max allocation. Within that process, I plan on taking payouts every single time they're available. So, like on this one account, I will take whatever payout I get after 5 profitable trading days, and then I'll drop the risk to 150, because that's the minimum, or it'll technically be 200, but between 150 and 200, because that's the minimum the minimum profit that will be needed, and I will be taking max payouts every time they're available. Like I'll withdraw the max amount that I can, drop the risk to 150, and then from there just go for the minimum trading days and continue to just stack that up. And then from there we should have, yeah, like I said, max allocation pretty quickly. I think if my math is correct, total withdrawals compared to total spend should be, yeah, about 2,400 spend and a little over 15K withdrawn, ideally. That's rough numbers. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if that is, like, I never know what's going to happen with these funded accounts, but to get to max allocation, one single max payout would be 10K. And then on the way to that, I plan on going from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, and 4 to 5. That's my game plan. It could be a 1 to 3. It could be a 1. Yeah, it would either be a 1 to 2 and then a 2 to 4, and then adding the last one, or it'll be a 1 to 3 and then a 1 to 5. I haven't decided yet, but that's what I'm looking at. I mean, one max payout from this Lucid account would be enough to cover the spend to go for max allocation, but I'm just going to do it a little bit slower. Just to, again, one, trying to make a series out of this. Is my first content I've put out, right, for trading. So I want it to be, go a little bit longer, but I also just want it to be like really realistic, because not everyone's going to be able to pass evals in 4 attempts. Like there's some people that just have a lower win rate. So I want to show that it's still realistic for them too. But yeah, that is a lot of fucking yapping from me, dog. So I appreciate you boys for showing up. I will get to getting some of this stuff posted. And hopefully get it online. If you guys don't already, I have been posting some stuff on TikTok. I didn't post yesterday because I just had some shit going on, so I'll have to recap today and yesterday. And yeah, so it's hep.trades on TikTok if you guys want to give it a follow. Hell yeah, good luck, brother. Wait, what belt are you? Appreciate you, dog. All right. Facts. Well, go choke his ass out, dog. Good luck. Be safe. Don't wreck your shit. And I will see you